All right. Only a few people showed up for this one. I guess no one's excited about painting France. Anyway, let's get going. Uh, this is what we did last week. Wait a second. Let me see if this is working. Oh, it is working. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. This is what we did last week. It's the winter lighthouse from Duluth. Yeah, we did it in cools, very cools, very dark, very dramatic. Um, you know, real exciting. I mean, exciting for dark colors and things. Uh, and I'd really liked getting into it when I was thinking about like subtleties of color, of changing things, and how even though this is like a mid-tone painting, uh, we still have a few hot spots, but not many. Uh, and really controlling those hot spots against the darks and the mid-tones is what this painting was about, kind of like what a lighthouse does. So it worked really well for that. Today we're going to do pretty much the opposite of what we just did with this lighthouse. Put it down over here. Today we're going to be painting a summer scene from France. It's a pretty simple, shot. I took this when I was doing a workshop there this last summer, and strolling the streets of this little town in LaTuilerie. Sorry, pardon my French. This little town was great. We stayed there all day. We painted from a nice little park, and just walking around the streets and stuff. They're so narrow, you can only get one car down them. So if there's two cars coming, you're really kind of messed up. But this was so interesting, just to stop and take pictures. This probably wasn't even the best. This wasn't probably the best pictures. Like we painted the arch from this town, and we painted a few other things for this town. Well, I painted that, but there is some really cool lightings effects and stuff. I love that little shaft of light going through there, and I just thought sometimes just little things like that, it'll draw me in, and it makes it worth painting. Uh, it's really kind of crazy. Everything else seen it any other time of the day, you might not have just walked past it. But that little line of light just said, paint this. So I took a picture of it, knowing I couldn't paint it right then because I was in the middle of a workshop, walking around, making sure everybody was working, and cracking the whip on them. So let me pull this up, and we will get going. A few more people showed up. Oh, it's so nice of them.
I showed up, Jim. It's Jeannie here.
Jeannie showed up. Where's Mimi? Where's your friend?
I don't see Mimi. She'll be here probably.
Yeah.
Hi,
well, better late than never, right?
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm going to be right back. Get something.
Yeah, I'm just cracking jokes anyway. I'm just giving my my little intro, so it's no big deal. So this is the place in France. It was a little hilltop village, and it was just exquisite. It was just like, oh my God, I could just take pictures there all day, and I wanted to, paint everything. So sometimes you're doing that stuff, you just got to take pictures, and hopefully you get it from every angle. Well, that's the great thing with the cameras. We can do that. The cell phones. So This is really nice. I just love that. Even the little areas, like I know it's very square. It's very, but it's very organized. It's really nicely organized. Nice little touches here and there. And I love the potted trees. Little bench with the hearts in it. You know, even the the window shutters. The window shutters over there were so amazing to see. I mean, just everybody had these shutters. It's like, oh, they're gorgeous. Usually they're blue. They all have this certain color blue they have to be, but blue or green, I guess, because I did see a lot of green in this town. But usually, most of the other towns, these are like sky blue shutters. Okay, that shaft of light coming through here. Look at that coming through. The key thing about that shaft of light is making it bounce when it goes over things, creating shape, creating form. How it goes over this guy. As long as it doesn't go over with a straight line that it goes over, it bends. The light bends a little bit. Creates other things, stops and picks up, right? And then bends again, just hair. Not even sometimes you don't have to do much. Sometimes you don't have to even do that like that. But certain areas, little key areas, you can see where you have to do it. It breaks, nice breaks there from the rocks or the bricks causing it. It's beautiful. Just that shutter causing all that light to stop. Interesting. Very interesting, And those can be kind of fun to put in. I think usually I would take and almost erase those out, instead of and think about, but I'm definitely gonna paint them today, put paint on them instead of just erasing them out, brightening them up and stuff. But I just love these little teeny dashes of light. Those things are just the killer things to put in. Those things are the things I would like to strive for in my paintings. Those little teeny accents of light that you can do that just show that you're really observing everything. So those key. Those are that. Of course, that light is key. Shadows down here. Look at these shadows here. How warm those are. Those are really warm shadows coming across here on those bricks. So this have a lot of red in them. Those have a lot. Anything on the tree has a lot of red in it. You can just see. This is where I always say, even in the middle of bushes and stuff, you could see this little warm red, and that's what you're seeing right there. See that little warmth in the middle of that dark. So that's what I'm saying. That those things take you in, show you that there's something on the other side. So little things, like a lot of this stuff comes from plein air painting and stuff, understanding that. So shadows, couple nice shadows over there. Okay. Look at those little pots there. I'm gonna make you paint those too. So everything's pretty uniform, straight up and down. Not a lot of perspective on this one. Hair's basically it's just tilted a little bit. There's a little bit of a hill at the, it's running on, so it's not perfectly straight. This is another key little light area to hit right there on this foot of the doorway. That'd be nice to hit. Interesting door too. All these pattern back here. Janie, I'm gonna make you paint every one of those little squares. She has to paint. Everything else is pretty good. Everything else I think we can get by with. But I love the stonework. I think even this stuff just can be so much fun to, paint. Just because you don't have to be exact on it. It's just, you get to model some paint. You got some warms, you got some cools in there. You get, one of the things to note either too is the difference of warmth here to the coolness up here. That there is just a slight difference, but the way we make our paint colors and stuff, it pretty much will take care of it when we get going on that. These windows are definitely the darkest darks you're going to have in here, these shadows in these windows. And we will, get to them. The ones up here are in the cooler, are going to be made with more purples. Down here, these guys are going to be made with more warm greens and purples, green purples. These are going to be blue purples up there. And that will give us a lot of distance in this short little area. Yeah, and a lot of indication. Okay, this is France, right? This is where Impressionism came from. So that's how we're going to attack this, impressionistic. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of different colors in here. You're going to have some nice warms. You're going to have some nice cools. You're going to mix up a bunch of warm greens and make sure that these greens can go anywhere in the painting. You got this warm green here, making sure that it's not just there, that it can be added anywhere. So that's a lot of this stuff is going to be that light and stuff we're going to catch and create in this painting. It's all going to start with our palette. Definitely going to be some gorgeous colors here. They just work. Everything just works so good together. I mean, that pale green against that warm taupey color. And these other warm greens mixing in there should be fun. I think that, this little area here, you don't have to worry about. Okay, you don't have to put the handicap mark in there, but everything else, it's simple stuff. If you paint every little brick down there, you don't have to. You just squint at everything. Basically, everything you want to do when you paint these things is squint at them a little bit, and they just kind of a little soften everything out. And they tell you what you need to key on, what do you need to really make pop, and that's usually. And this one, it's just the highlights. I mean, you just hit the highlights. You get everything else. The highlights, I mean, we can draw this. I'm going to be drawing this really mushy and stuff like that. But then when you just hit the highlights on things, these edges here, this line, you hit that, you hit this highlight, correct. And this one, I love this one right here. This one where I keep talking about the foot. You hit that, and just the rims of those guys. You hit those guys, and everything else can be mush. I think so. That's what things that really is just take your time on when you get to those things. Those would be the last things we do, and that should be fun. So we'll be working towards that, just creating a nice mishmash of colors, and then warming them up. All right. So, any questions?
Okay.
I gave you. Nope.
Jim, it's Jeannie.
Nope. I gave
yeah. So I'm looking at that door, and I'm wondering how you're going to get the right green from, your phthalo. So my question is, are we going to use something like a sap green or Hooker's green or something like that? Or are you going to get it from
you
phthalo?
Definitely could. As long as you use it some other places, you could do that. That's okay. I mean, you could probably get it into the trees and into the bushes and stuff like that. Yeah, if you need to go there, don't worry about it. I mean, that's okay. I don't think there's going to be that much trouble getting that color myself, but
okay.
If you do have any problem, that's the thing about this. We'll give you, really good guidelines and stuff on these paintings. But I'm not there. Your greens might not be the same ones as I have, even though they're different makers or something like that. So take it upon yourself a little bit. You can do what you want there, Jeannie. We'll let you go. We'll slap your hand later. We'll slap
Could be a
your hand
mistake.
later.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
you put it up on the site, and then we'll let you know if it's right or wrong.
I have a
Yay.
question, Jim.
Okay.
Question. Hey, can you zoom in on that? There's like a little bluish patch in the window above the door.
Yes.
Is that a reflection of something?
That's me. That's me reflected. Can't you tell? That's me. No. Yeah, of course it's a reflection of some sky and trees and stuff coming down.
It's a very pretty color.
Yes. Yes, and you can see how the value of that is pretty dark too, that blue purple and stuff. It is kind of a very dark, and that's the kind of key things, these little things of color when we get going. Is really making sure that this guy does not just jump out at us. Keeping it in building it. That's why you paint it all with these colors, and then you come back in with that purple and you bring it in while it's wet, and you can bring it in slowly, and you can get it to that value and stuff. You work it a little bit, and you get all this stuff from one little squish of brush. And then another squish, and you're going to tone it down. Every time you squish the color, it drops the value. So that would help.
Little detail. Thanks.
Little beautiful details. Those are all right. I mean, then you see these colors up here, how bright those guys are. Whew. Oh, look they have curtains in there. And then you can see the roof. Whenever I do these guys, I do not look really deep into the details like that. Not just like I just did, because those things get in your head and they get in your way of painting, because all of a sudden you're thinking details instead of big picture, then details. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, think of it just as big drawn out thing, and then if you need to get this deep to see, oh, that's curtains, and that's a roof, and that's things like that, and that shaft, we need to know where those things are coming from, but you don't need to go you don't need to know the history behind everything, because that'll just get in your head and slow down things, and we want explosion into this thing. So that's why I'm taking up as much time as possible here to slow you guys down. So when you do explode into this painting, you'll have a lot of excitement into it. Yeah. Well, we'll try. Okay, let's go over and talk colors on this puppy. Oh, I got to get rid of this. All right. Colors. I'm just going to go with my regular palette here, which is titanium white, cad yellow light, cad red light, cad orange. Here is just a little green in it. That's no good. Okay. Ochre. I got some ochre out. Ochre probably be pretty good for this one today because of it's a nice kind of a neutral kind of earthy yellow, which is not gonna mess up things. Stuff. It might help tie some colors together. This is Venetian red here today. I do have some. This is alizarin crimson or rose madder deep, if you are Rembrandt. Cobalt blue hue by oops, see, I got all this paint, I got to clean my palette all the way down sometime. This is cobalt blue hue. Phthalo green, green blue. Burnt sienna. I had burnt sienna out and burnt umber out. Any of these other colors back there are from something else I was working on. Big brushes. These guys are going to be really key. Look at how that edge. Look at how thin that is. That square is perfect for these kind of paintings because it can just you know, perfect little squares for windows, doors. Then the edge just for little teeny dots of lines. Perfect for most of this stuff. We have a couple of those. Basically, I think this one's certain. Yeah, this one's falling apart, but this is how I get hairs in my paintings. These guys just start to fall off after a while. So that's a good key to throw it away. Take it out. Soon. Nice bristles. Then I got my rosemary synthetics. More bristles. So those will work. That's where I'll be going to war with. And then your palette knife and then your little paint eraser, just in case. You know, this thing's really great for, you know, making little nice marks. This could do a lot of highlight colors. This could do a lot of those little little teeny things here, like this kind of stuff here. Sometimes it's just easier to draw. I mean, I can't draw with my palette knife as good as I can just turn this around and draw with like a pencil. That's great. And that's sometimes all you need, especially when you got that little teeny things. Those little marks you make can go a long ways. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun to paint. So let's get to it. Okay, I'll be painting with safflower oil. Just wipe this down. Last time I put my picture down, I had to paint from it, and it had a big old mark in it. It's tough to paint from those. But my monitor is up and working again today. Very finicky things. Color-wise, this is really close to almost what's there. Since I've been printing on like photo paper, really comes out pretty good. I mean, color-wise, you know, sometimes I like these guys better than what's on the monitor. Darkness. Let's get these darks. Definitely need some cool blues and purples, and then we need some cool greens and purples. So going to be cools up top, warmer down below. Sun is just raising there. You get a lot of reflection from the bricks here, even into the shadow areas. It's reflecting in there and warming it up, but it only warms up so far. The light is just not really cutting everything over here. Should be interesting. These highlights are so high. They are really, really up there. We're going to try and keep them right around 2s, 1s if we have to, but try to keep them 2s and 3s for everything here. Like, you can almost see, well, this guy is as dark as I think this is. These guys are, I mean, as light as these doors are, they're really 5. These are 5s values. So, you know, keeping things down as far as you can and then bringing them up. That's what going to make this light as bright as it is. Value of this guy is really right in 7s and 6s. You know, not too, maybe 5s when you get down to where some really warmth is showing. But that's, you know, a lot of yellow adding into the bricks and stuff, just warming it up itself up. Okay, so let's get these darks going first. I said alizarin and blue. Definitely these colors should come through. Definitely one on the alizarin side. This will be a really dark color. This is probably this and phthalo green and are like some of the darkest colors you can make. At least in my paintings, contrast-wise, they can get you all the way to that color really easy. And so making that purples, red purples is great. Over here, definitely we need some on the blue side. But we're going to leave this one really on the blue side. So we're just using a little bit of alizarin into our, or like I said, rose madder deep if you are Rembrandt. So we got that color there. This color here, just a touch of white should nail that color there easily. It probably could even go into here too, but I think we can probably get that. We'll see. You got options. Okay, now these other darks down in here, like I said, those are on the green side. So if we make those with, instead of blue, make them with phthalo green. And again, you don't need a ton of color here, but sometimes when you start to mix these other parts of the palette, these colors get really a little too small. So I'm going with alizarin again, alizarin and phthalo green. That is on the alizarin side. This will be on the phthalo green side. So you can sort of see the green showing through there. The red on that side. At least for these darks, that's a good start. I'm just getting the paint off my knife here. Don't want to waste too much of it. Definitely got a few other greens I'd love to get in here. And just a couple other warms coming in here too. So we're going to do a few other colors. Basically, I'm just going to do phthalo green again. A couple phthalo greens. I'm going to do Venetian first. Do one with Venetian, phthalo green and Venetian. Of course, Venetian's such a strong color. Just totally wiped out my colors here, my green. So I'm going to just take a little bit of that mixture because it's on the red side so much. I can just put green on this side and get a nice difference between red and green here. Those guys are going to start being down in here. Those guys are going to start doing some of the shadow warmth in the thing, in these bushes and streets. And you never know, might be getting into the windows. When we tone these guys down, I think we're going to get lucky and get a lot of brickwork out of that. Another color definitely I see on top of this thing is almost the same thing, but in blue. So it's definitely blue and Venetian. I see this blue purple coming in, running down the runoff on the building. Definitely see it could be in the blue or purple range. Could be in greens too. Greens could work. But I'm just, making sure we have this guy because I know this color here definitely could get in here too. So there'll be a few colors when we're mixing up. Okay. That should be doing it. So I'm going to take all these colors and split them. Right now, we're going to split the piles in half. And add white to make them right around a 7 value. Now let's see what happens out of that. I'm going for the shadow colors. And I'm thinking that should work out pretty well. So this is just a little bit of white added to these colors. Don't expect these guys to get too close to anything. I'm going for the value anyway. Just a little dark. So this purple's about right. Nice neutral. You can start to see the color. Value probably still closer to an 8. Now I took it to a 6. No, that's 7. That's close. I'll leave this down here for something else. Sometimes you just realize you put in too much white before it gets too close. Get rid of it. This is on the blue side of that. Looks a little light. Looks dark there though, but perfect there. Okay. Now this one should be interesting. This is definitely green and alizarin. As you can see how it's such a beautiful gray here. Neutral gray. Tells me that this is like a perfect mix of red and green together when you get a gray like that. This is also where I was thinking that color there would be in here too. Could be in these walls. Definitely on top. You know, you put the, let's see what happens. Just keep going. Same thing here. So you can start to see where the green really pops. Comes through on that one. Definitely doesn't, you don't see it too much. You never know. At least at this stage. Same here, this is phthalo green and phthalo green and Venetian. That's a beautiful color. You know, a couple more steps. Yeah, it's right now it is at an 8. Both these things are just a hair dark. I'm thinking walls right now, so I think I'm going to get a lot of nice colors out of this one. This is on the red side. Doesn't look like it. Oops. Took this one down a little bit farther. Yeah. Giving out where these things are going to go. This color's here definitely could be toned down, and it will fall into this, into that. This guy's toned down, should fall into these, the lower part. So these cooler greens and blues go up top. These warmer reds and greens and blues go probably down at the bottom. Oh, this one I added way too much. Okay. Again, we're getting this color. Could go a little more red in that. That green's taking over. Needed more neutralized. They'll be get in there. All right, and these ones should turn into some nice smoky purples. These are ones I said could go on top here. And you can see they work really well. All right, those are some nice guts of the painting type colors, darks and lights there. Like I said, we're just missing. You don't see any real taupe colors out of these guys. So we're gonna have to create that. Yeah, really close enough. Okay, we're gonna have to create that. I just have to have some purple down here from alizarin and blue here with a little bit of white. definitely not, you know, it could get in here. See how close that is? All it's missing is some warmth. If you have ochre and you add it to it, you'll neutralize it. And it should be really close. So this is purple. This is basically, I took a alizarin and white and blue from this first pile on the red side, and I just put ochre in, half and half ochre to that, right? And I got a nice, beautiful pile that can fit in here really quite easy in a lot of places. Let's grab a little bit of that purple here and put a little ochre in. This is a blue on the blue side, so it's going to be a little greener. Basically, I want to do the same thing. A little bit. Start seeing the richness it can bring. Interesting. Let me see. Let me take one of these greens up here. I've not done this. I want to see if ochre does much here to these greens here. It's going to probably turn really green. You probably start to see it in a few of these areas. Not too much I didn't think of here, but sometimes it's interesting to put them in there. Okay. Basically, that's our painting right there. All we got to do is we got the darks, we got all the a lot of midtones. Value wise, you can see how tight these guys are. They're pretty much right at 7s, 6s, and 7s. These guys will be laid in underneath. These purples probably be scumbled on top a little bit, dragged down over them, over this for the background. But we're looking at certain areas here. Now we got to get the high key colors. Basically, I'm thinking I want these colors here and here and here to come up. See, to add white to. We're going to add a lot of white to them. Trying to get this from 7s up to about 3s. So that's like, you know, triple the amount of white compared to the pile. So it's a good piece. So let's see what this warmth here does together. This pile again is that purple from the alizarin and blue mid-tone mixed with ochre. And now I add white to it. Okay. See, I know my shit. I know my stuff. So just adding enough white, triple amount of paint probably, like I said, of white to the warmth. This should be nice too. This is going to be a little light. A little warmth, but you're going to find it in these little areas there. Then you're going to find it down below here. Probably could be a little bit warmer, but that's okay. This is really close. Sometimes warmth is not really created with white. It's really created with your warm yellows and reds. We have not put any red into these colors. This is green. This is that came from this phthalo green pile and red Venetian here with white. And this is the color. I was thinking it was going to be close to that up there, closer to these colors, these warmths down here. Okay, I might have just, it's not, it can also go in these areas, but it's going to be like highlights. That's what I was looking for. So this color could be mid-tone down. If I mid-tone this color down, I can hate to lose it all. It didn't make much. So I'll make a mid-tone of this color. Yeah. Mix up some more. Definitely did not put out much ochre. All right, I'm just going to leave this as a mid-tone. Just to have it around. I think I can use it, you know, some in these guys or something like that. But I'm going to take these guys down too, a little bit too when I get there. Let's do a couple other greens here. Let's see if we can make Jeannie's green door without sap green. I don't know. Let's see. We got green.
Bet you can't. I don't think you can. We'll see.
All right. Well, we start with phthalo green. We'll start with. Then we'll add cat orange to it. You can see I'm just a little bit off. Okay. Cat orange, pretty close. Another one you could try, it's really interesting, is cat red. This is with Venetian, this is with Rembrandt colors. Oops. That's how strong cat reds are here. Just put this away over here. Don't need it right now. It's too much.
But for the
Yeah,
first color, that first green color, you said, and cat orange. Okay.
Cat orange and phthalo green. We'll have a little bit
Yeah.
more on cat orange side. This is on the cat red side.
Okay.
And that could go in here to the darker areas. That's a little warm. That means it's on the red side. So if I just put a little bit more green into it, I should be able to get into the cooler side. Those are close enough for me. These greens also, I'll be able to use back in here. If I just add that cat red back into a piece of it, I'll be able to start getting into these areas here. Definitely can get the terracotta out of that. Since I'm finally using some cat red in my colors, kind of just stayed away from it for this one. This color here, I'm going to take this color here. This is just phthalo green and cad red, but it's on the cad red side. Definitely want to take that down to a 7. It's not too far from a 7. Probably, yeah, it's really close to a 7 already. But I want to take it down, take it up to scale to probably around value of graded out, probably about a 4, 3. So I'm gonna add some white to it.
So that's Venetian and what?
This is just cad red. This is cad red and phthalo green. It came from this one over here where I added too much
okay.
red right off the bat. But what I saw was, you know, I can see that color warmth in here. It just needs to be just grayed out enough. And I think just adding enough white and mixing back in a little green to this color can get me into this kind of, you know, grain out thing. So I'm just gonna grab just a touch more green to gray it out a little bit, neutralize it. There you go. See, just neutralize it a little bit with the green so it grays out. And you squint a little bit, you can see that color in there. It's always nice to just have so many colors to play with. So this would go over here with that. You can see value-wise, this one's really close to it. That one's close to it. Hey, that's the thing. It's just having some, it's a big area. And to be able to go, you know, find these cools, have enough colors, you know, we got warms, it's kind of a cooler gray, purple and stuff to put in here, and we got some other purples added. You know, I always just want to keep going. One of the things I want to do though is think about this bottom color here. I think this one's going to be really close to it. The one where we use some ochre into it. I think if I take this color and add some cad yellow to it, sometimes this is the way it gets going. My palette just keeps growing. We only got a few greens to make up, so I'm not too worried about it. But I think if I add just enough cad yellow to this color, this is start off with cad red and just a little bit of green. And then when we added white to it, came to here. Now I took a piece of that and I added cad yellow to it because I wanted to spike it up. I want to get these worms that can work down in here. Now if I take and do add the white back in, I'm going to put it over here with my lighter colors so I can really see what the difference is. And then when I spike this up with white, this might be, you know, that could really help these things up there. But I was thinking about these little noogies down here lower on the building, like these areas here. So that came from a red and green mix with a little cad yellow brought in at the end. That's really nice. I'm going to make sure I have enough of that pile, because sometimes when you apply paint, you want to apply it with gusto. You want big strokes, right? Big, strong strokes. And that's usually in your lighter colors. You want to really make those colors pop, because if you put them on right, you're going to get like another 2 colors out of each one of these colors, because of just the thickness of the paint, the stroke, the directional stroke of the paint, you know, with the brush and the color itself. So you can brighten this color, dull it down by the way it catches light, and just by thickening it up, you can lighten it just because it's going to come out farther, and you're going to get a dimensional feel to it too. So sometimes these little guys in here, you think, you know, you can go with almost the exact same color you paint with a brush, but if you put it on with a knife, you're going to get a thickness quality that could be going to give you a different ratio of light to paint, and they'll stand out. Yeah. Ideas. So these colors here, definitely you can start to see where they work. I don't mind these guys being a little bit too dark yet. These guys I need to, you know, lighten up. I think if I lighten these guys up, like I said, I was going to take these guys down to maybe two 4s anyway, pieces of them to a 4 value. So if you do that, we'll reset. We really don't need more colors, but I'm doing it just because I think this painting can go pretty quickly when we got the colors mixed up right. So just having these extra little high key colors to play with. And it just creates a lot of fun energy in your painting. And it's so cohesive just because of all these colors are just like, you know, working together value wise. They're not like up and down. And you know, this is color I was hoping was going to be up in here. Little, not enough red. The green is just overpowering it. This one is going to go, yeah, that one goes up there. This one goes up there. This should go down below. And as you can see, it's just not bright enough. The red's just not strong enough to take on that was Venetian. So I'm just bringing in some straight red to gray it out. And that'll get me right there. little warmth too. You just touch it. More cad red into it. Yeah, more cad red into these things. Just to gray them out. Nope. I mean, that was just a hair of red, cad red added to these things, just to gray them out to that value, the right look. Okay. These guys too. I don't know if I'll need them, but sometimes they come in nice and handy in the shadow areas. It's definitely on the red side. That's on the blue side. Can't really tell. Reds from blues right now. Add some more blue. Okay. Okay, I'll go through the colors. Definitely well, need a couple greens too. So just take these greens, add just a touch of yellow to them, cad yellow to them too. You'll get these greens in here and in here. Just a touch more yellow on each one of those. Mix them together a little bit and you should be good. Okay. Gonna leave those guys. We don't need much of those guys. Okay. That's your palette. We got Alizarin crimson and blue together here. Came down with white to about a 7. Brought it back down. This came down to about 3s. Phthalo green and alizarin on the red side. On the green side, down to about 3s, then 7s, and then 3s. This is phthalo green and Venetian. Coming down, this is on the Venetian side. That could go just like I said. Other one, I hear more red into it. Looks redder up top. That's the phthalo green for you, how strong that is. That just kind of gets in here and does this stuff. That should probably be just a little lighter. It's a nice gray. It's a nice warm gray. You can definitely use it in the street and have some fun with it. Over here we have phthalo green in the Venetian too. This on the phthalo green side. Coming down, this is where I added just a little bit of cad red because I could see even on that one when I added it back in, it just wasn't doing where I wanted to. It wasn't graying out that phthalo green enough. It was just green was showing through on the red side too much. Okay, blue and this is cobalt blue hue and Venetian together, coming down on the red side, on the blue side, and white. Over here, I just took a little bit of this alizarin and blue mix we made at the very, very beginning with a little bit of white. Brought it over here and just added ochre to it. Then I added more ochre to it. Here I took one of these green ones over here and brought it over and added ochre to it. And oh, that was this one. You know what I do? I did something here. But anyway, I took these guys down to with white stuff and they really get the highlights. Basically nail the highlights, nail the house, nail the highlights. Really close. But then you're still going to have some other added colors in here or it's going to be boring. So this is like was alizarin phthalo green in Venetian mix here with ochre and some more. And I took a mid-tone, made a highlight. Over here, this one is just blue, is phthalo green and cad red. Just a lot of cad red, not much phthalo green really. But when you come down to add white, it kind of comes this kind of putty color, which ended up being, oh, that's why I put over here. This is from here. This is this putty color. I put it over there because I wanted to get it into, show you these, get it into this value range where you can see it's really kind of close to those. And that's where I want to build the building with. And then here I took a piece of it. I added cad yellow to it. Just a little bit of cad yellow, and then it gets into all these rich, kind of rocky areas of the building. And then I took that and I nailed it with some white, trying to with the same with these guys. Took each one of those guys down and nailed it with white. Get really high key. Those guys are really around twos. Then we had some fun over here with Jeannie, and we did phthalo green and cat orange together to work on this door, and that worked good. And then over here we said, okay, well, we also need a little bit of shadow color in there too, so we decided to go with cat red and phthalo green together. And this is a little darker, this is a little dark, but it can get into trees and get into here, and it should be fine. This is when it's way too much cad red. That's why I saved it over there. But then I took these two colors around here and added cad yellow to them to get the bushes, and these other bushes and stuff will come from over here. These kind of grayed out greens and stuff. It should be an easy mix, whatever we come up with. So that's where we are. Any questions? A lot of mixing, but this mixing, I think that since this is kind of like a lot of squares in this thing, we should be pretty good. Okay. You've been warned. All right, move this over. Add this up here for you. Clean off my hand. Get everything up and running here. I'll see if I can bring you in. Looks good. All right. Oh, switch back. All right. I think I said I had some burnt umber out. I'm going to tone this with burnt umber. I think because of the to neutralize everything, I think that's going to be a nice cohesive color. It shouldn't affect anything, any brightness too much. Also, put out some oil. Starting off with some new oil. Always starting off painting with new oil. Keep it clean. That's half the build. Half the thing is keeping things colors clean. So it's always keeping that palette nice. Keeping your brushes clean, wiping them out. Wiping them out before you put them back into your piles too, so you don't pollute your piles too much. So I'm starting off some burnt umber and oil. Let's see what this does. I did not do a color. I should have done burnt umber and blue together, probably for that rose. Those are always beautiful things. But I have it here. I should not have any problem. So this is a kind of a nice neutral, even though it is a kind of a cool brown, but just being a brown, it's in the warmer sections, purples. So always good for almost both. Like I said, there's going to be a problem a lot of nice textures you can get right in this point, but I'm afraid most of them are going to be lost. A lot of just not enough oil yet. Taking it easy on this thing. Get that bottom ledge of this panel. All right, there we go. That's good enough. That will work. Get those speckles out of there. All right, laying this thing out. Definitely on the bottom thirds, you know, this is down here to the road. Slight angle up, but that's about it. Everything else can be almost, you know, like perspective wise, isn't too much. You know, road itself just slightly more angled than the building. It's just been the things. Okay, if I split the painting in half, I think the door is going to be over here on this side slightly. This edge here can be will be the shutter. So that shutter kind of splits everything. So, you know, a lot of times I'm going to be I got to get over here, make sure these first lines are straight, because now I can judge all the rest of my lines from that. Let's see about height. This goes up right about in the middle of the painting too. So just a few lines here to guide things. Okay. And that means this guy goes up a little higher. Okay. I'm just seeing where things line up. You can just start to see how things start to stagger. And if you can get that rhythm, you don't have to be perfect on these things either. No one's going to know. So. That distance. A lot of things you start to see line up. And the door itself, even though it's lower, this. Just gonna judge the rectangle shape and size together. See if that works. Just marking them with a little bit dark. Pretty much, it's a nice thing about this thing is, you know, this window here is same width as the door. And I know I go here. This guy overlaps. Sorry, I just talk when I lay these things out a little bit. Sure my squares are about the same, right? Okay. I'll have to get in front of it again at some point just to make sure. Nice that even though I'm drawing this out, you know, I'll probably be covering three quarters of it up. But it's the one thing, it's no big deal. You've drawn it out once, you can draw it out again. Should be able to draw it out fairly easy the second time too. That's that. I'm gonna go all the way across. You can see how worn the stone is right here. You can tell that how that has been aged, but people have been stepping on that for so long and just wore it out, wearing it out. You can't wear that out, but man, wow. That's cool. Okay. Then you got placement of these guys down here. About right, really. Okay, well, it's right in here. I don't worry about it too much, but it tells me where everything else is. If I made this, got to start all over. One thing's out of place. Oh, not really. I'm not gonna worry. The other one's right here. And the smaller one here. Beautiful little things that are just fun to paint. And then the street here going down. This is kind of boring. We might put a shadow or something like going across here just to, break it up or something. For these lines here, even because they are crooked at the bottom, that they don't cause too many problems. And sometimes I'll be just darkening the edges even as I come in. Keeping these guys darker so everything kind of keeps pushing up. All right. So this is the door coming down. Here's the side. This basically tells me, okay, almost straight above it. There it is. That's where some rock is. Building, really close. Man. Everything just lines up. So you guys don't need to hear me talk constantly about this. This window is that the top window here is slightly staggered too. Then this one down here, it's just slightly over a little bit. Not quite even with this thing, but just more in the middle of this guy. So, okay, so right up to there. Going up, boy, I kind of gonna have to move everything up a little bit more. When he gets out, I just got a little squatty. That's okay. Everything's basically just a little more elongated. Otherwise, this is going to be way too much down up here. I don't want to be perfect either, but I like to be close. Okay. Thing here that these guys should line up. Okay. All right. There we go. Sort of drawn out, sort of things, you know, pots and stuff in here I'll put in, but I'm not gonna worry about the ovals and things. Let's get going. This is gonna be kind of fun. We're gonna start off with the darks again. You know, getting these darks in here first, and then we'll put in those guys, and then we'll dive into the building itself, value-wise. So I just want to get these darks in before my paint gets all messed up, because I want these guys to really clean. So these are alizarin crimson and red. Alizarin crimson and blue. Very first colors we made. So just that. So I'm just gonna paint these shutters, this whole section here, with that dark section.
Jim, is that the shutter or the glass?
This is the glass, the inside the window. So I'm painting this is a cool dark. So it's basically straight down, little angles into the window. That's why I love this brush, because I can, even at this point, I can really, you know, carve things out. I'm going to do the same on the other window. I'm probably just going to go a little bit bluer than that one's going to keep red on the alizarin side. This one might go a little bit cooler because it's over here in the corner here. And I just, you know, one of the things is just don't need too, I like to keep the richness there. And back over here, there's just going to be some, you know, I'll carve the windows stuff out of it. I mean, everything that's in the window in there, I can get fairly easy. But this one, I just want to keep on the red side, basically. You know, now I'm touching with the blue. That's okay. You know, I'm going to lay this in too. This is going to go on the green side, but I'm just putting this in for marker. Clean this brush. It's going to be laid out more in the green side. It's alizarin and green too. So as you can see, a lot of alizarin showing through here. Just don't want to waste too much of my colors. I'm just going to touch this up a little bit too. that shaft of light. I didn't even draw that in here. Good. Basically, you want to come from this one, basically a 1/3, 2/3, 1/3 area light, and going down here to about the same on this side. So it's just gonna run 1/3, 2/3, 2/3 down, shaft, 2/3 over on this top part, the other part of that shaft. Getting things to line up too. That's great. Knowing that line hits there, and you can start to get the shadow. Think about the shadow on this guy here. Just putting things in, just rubbing them in with this color a little bit, because this color purple isn't so much in these shadows and stuff. I think I probably could bring this over a little bit more, but I'm not going to. Okay. This one's probably going to be a lot thinner anyway. You know. Close, close. So this is just alizarin and blue. Just going through, touching up a few spots here. Let's see where things go. See, the painting's already done. All right. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go back. This is phthalo green and alizarin. This is on the alizarin side. This is what I was talking about. This window down in here. You can just see the warmth in that compared to this purple, the blue side to the green side. Just that difference, you know, is all you need. And then especially when you start putting in these guys here. This is going to put this in on the red side. And shadow here. This bush. Okay. That's it. Boy, what a difference. Okay, I'm going to put this back in this window here. This warmth goes in this window here. But I started to put it in with that lighter alizarin and blue. Now I'm going in with the red version. I mean the phthalo greens version. Also, I'm going to put it in here. This is phthalo green and alizarin. This is on my the red side was just a little bit. This goes up a little higher. Was a little purple, little too red. I mean, you can see how dark this is. It's almost too red. Not red enough. It was just such a neutral and stuff. So I'm going to go here and just go with a little more green there, but it worked really well there. But since I'm going to look at this color here, I'll put it a little bit into this thing too, this bush. More at the top and at the very bottom here. Can't tell. You won't. It's a waste of time there. Okay, forget that. Good. A lot of times just getting these darks in like that, you know, are going to help just to solidify the shapes and just, it's just going to go very fast. All right. The blue purples and stuff, don't see a whole lot of that. I'm gonna wait. I was gonna go back to that neutral gray. This is basically a alizarin and green. This is like a perfect mix, and it becomes like this gray. And that's what I was saying. Oh, yeah. Over this this area here, it could be very much that color. And it just just give it a little bit of an angle, but I'll just leave it a little dark, thicker on the sides, just a little thinner there. Value wise, those guys are starting to fall right in there. This is probably just a hair too dark, but the next color on that will lighten it up a little bit. All right, let's get into the building. That takes me pretty much through my kind of darks at the top. I got this. I'm going to be going to basically the building itself. I want to get a little bit more warmth in this, and some cools. That's where I was putting in these purples really quick into that brown. That's a value wise. You squint, yeah, it's a little light, but not too bad. Let's go. I'm gonna. I'm still not. I don't think I'm yet totally done yet. I'm gonna work this. This is Venetian and phthalo green. It's dark, but I'm just going to be dressing it up a little bit, going through here, just getting a few colors in where I kind of see them. Basically in the shadow areas only, not really too much into the light shaft. I can see a few of these spots. I want to just it's going to get some of the age and warmth. And you can really start to see it right in these little areas over here. It's kind of a purple, grayed out purple green. This is just on the green side, so it should be on the other side. Showing through here. I just given the next colors things to mix with. I do this all the time, so you guys should not be too crazy, too weirded out. This will help me start to get these shafts of light in here. Even this toning of that green there. Will help these. It's going to also help with age, putting in extra colors like this underneath. It's really a great way to get age and wood and things like that. So when we get to these things over here and the shutters, they're just going to be little bits of color here biting in and grabbing as you go, and it's just going to create a lot of different colors that marry together really nicely. So that's all I'm doing right here now, just trying to get that right. And I still probably need to get in front of it at some point. It'll be blocked in a few minutes. Even at this stage, it's almost a block in because of everything. And just using this thing as a straight line. Okay. All right. I think I'm just going to go with the start painting now. This back area. I'm not worried about the any of the lights. I'm just going to paint the lights, and then I'll come back with the lighter things on top. Oh shoot! One of the things I did not do this. Did not hit this thing dark green. This is not dark green, but this is a red and green. This is the Venetian and green mix here. I wanted to get this kind of transparent color underneath here and into that area too. You can see it. Sorry, thought I was just going a little fast. Just in this lower part here of that brick framing here. Okay. Move it out a little bit. Make sure you got something here. Sometimes these things are just going to work themselves out. You don't have to do too much. Nice, almost like a watercolor. Very thin, very, very light. All right. This next color, and I'm going to mix down and start doing building colors, like I've been saying here. Really going to keep this kind of cooler, more purpley between in I'm going to do the shaft of light. That part of the building, keep it in the. I'm going to keep it more in the cooler blue, purples ish, and then down here I'll keep it a little bit more warm in this side. So that meaning this color. So that's meaning this color here going to be what was that? This is really cad red and phthalo green and white. That's what this color is. So I'm going to keep that on this side, even though I said I was going to keep this on the warmer side. I'm still putting it on over here. Cad red's usually warmer, but when you added white to it, yes. Am I breaking up? Could be my thing did not charge. Let me pull this off. Okay, you guys hear me good? Okay, so so this is going to, I'm painting this, going to paint, just work this into this side here a lot of these. So this side here is going to be this is cad red and phthalo green mix. Mostly cad red, but with white. That's, you know, just trying to think that way through, separating things out a little bit from one side to the other so it doesn't flatten out too much. For some reason, I felt that this color here was cooler under on my palette than the other color with the ochre in it. So I'm just going to rub it in here a little bit. Overpaint a little bit into the light. It's not too boring. A lot of bump in here. Shh, quiet. Okay. So I think the phthalo green really made that red kind of cool with the cooled it off enough. This light here should come down. This shaft, get this in too, because this light needs to come like that. We're gonna move that over. Might have to widen this window to here to get the right line I want. But this is what I'm talking about going over. That's why I put these other colors in here ahead of it, because all I want to do is touch them and drag them down. I'm not going to be like doing a ton of mixing. I just want to get some of that color in there, mix like so many other really interesting colors. It's just a better way sometimes to do it than doing it all on your palette. Start to get that earthy tones in there. Bring it down, just bring it all down. I'll fix that shaft. Okay, like I said, this other side, this is going to be warmer. This has the ochre side in it. Oh boy, this thing is going quickly. Hairs are just falling out of this thing. So, see how neutral that is? Hope you'll bring it back in. Those colors have such a just value. They're just really close to the same value. And just rubbing it in. A little bit of oil to get this to move. You said I have pots to put in there, but I'm not going to ruin what I'm doing paint wise. This is still being the transparencies I wanted to get in here. You know, that's why I put this color in here again, because when I do get the right amount of paint, I take this color up enough. That color starts to blend in and show through right in here, and you start to be able to get these swirls of color and mixes if you slow down enough to see them and say, I can use that. That's going to work right in here pretty nicely. So it's really just slowing down your brush a little bit. Putting it on so you're not just wiping all that color off. I know I harp on that all the time. That's what I do. All right. Got to bring it down here a little bit. Now this is, again, that same color, ochre and purple together, which, you know, I thought would, you know, usually I'd be putting that up here, but I felt that I wanted this over here just to shift it a little bit. And as you can tell, not even painting that shaft of color that much, it comes out pretty close. So I'm going to lighten the corners of this area here, then work up. Basically, yeah, we're off a little bit color-wise, but that's okay. We catch it. More important to start getting these things right. Yeah, down when I get down here, I gotta also. I'm gonna shift to this other more where I put. I think this is probably more ochre in it. Area down in here. Put it in, thinking that I'm going to be covering up a little bit of this because of the highlights and stuff. So that's what I'm thinking. So, but I want to get this, some of this warmth into this bottom area here. Move back up a little bit. It might be at this lower part of these stones. I can put it in and then take it out. Okay. I'm going to start working that also. This is that ochre, more ochreish into that purple. And having come over here and get a few spots where I can see where it's starting. Things are coming down a little warmer in the bricks. I think this color, it's basically it's just gonna be a lot of little adjustments now to this back area here. Now that we got the basic tone in, I'm using it right here. I'm gonna get that. Whoop, did not get what I wanted. Mixed up a lot of colors here. Right on the edge of that window. Come down to. All right. I'm going to go and start putting in some of these greens really quickly of the doors and things. I say greens, but I think they're really kind of dark, more gray greens. Ooh, I thought it was going to be a lot lighter. On the cool side. Okay. Should be a little bit warmer than that. I thought it would be a little warmer. Ochre would have been good to have in here. So, I'll try some of that. Somebody turned on all the mics. I'll mute everybody for a second, and then you guys will have to, unmute yourself. This color here is just not getting there, so I'm putting a little ochre into this. This was a phthalo green and a Venetian mixed down to to about a 3 value. Well, maybe I say 3, but it's really 5. Okay. I just put a little ochre into it because it wasn't warm enough. Still not warm enough for what. But that's okay. It's a good start point. Bring it down far enough that I can correct it when I do everything else. I'll find it up here too. You can see the ochre start to show through because I put it in with my brush. That's good there. I should really use it there. Just pay attention. I really liked it there. See if I can steal some that warmth down in here. That was ochre. It is. Let me get it again. That helped a lot. But still, value-wise, if I would have nailed the right value, it would have been fine. Anyway. Okay, since I'm putting in all these things, let me get through. Okay. Sorry, move that thing too much. This will help. Just gonna keep going through that. I think these colors might be better end up being better over here. This window, these doors. Yeah. This again, that was phthalo green and Venetian mixed down with white on the phthalo green side. Just kind of a gray. Gray green there. I'm going to try and get this one up here. This one's a lot brighter. It's in the cool section. This is so I'm using this might scream, but this is phthalo green and alizarin with white. Yeah, screams. I'm going to try and paint it pretty simple. I'm going to go to the purple side, a little grade this out a little bit, and a little purple to it. Grade the green out too much. This went too bright. I'm going to find that right here on the edge of this window. I'll stay like this and stay like I said, stay with the purple side of that phthalo green and alizarin on this side of that shadow there. Probably a little dark now. It'll look a little bit better. Zoom. This is alizarin and phthalo green with just a little white in it. Just getting on this door on that side. Oh, one of the colors I didn't get, really. Wow. Thought I was going to get that. I mixed down too far. Was just that blue. purple. Basically it's blue with just a hair of alizarin in it, and just a little bit of white into it. When I took it down to I just didn't think about that. I took them down to that value and stuff. I didn't think about this blue purple I was thinking about putting in right here and for that window. I'm gonna get this one first. Okay. That just shows up a little bit in this window over here. This is where I said to just add it to that one area here. You add it, and then you just touch it until it falls into place, so it's not too bright. If you need it brighter, one more touch and try it again. That was used up. That was going over, so it's a little mix. You know, it should be that bright. So, value-wise, keeping them tight. Doorway's pretty good. Let's get them. I'm just cleaning up that purple and stuff out of my brush now. Now I'm going to go with all these grays and stuff and start building the real structure of this thing. Using mid-tones I made up with the purples and things. I got the base tone in here, which is pretty good. Now it's just really bringing that to life by using some of these warms and cooler colors up top and a little bit more warmer coming down. So cooler ones be more purpley. Well, let's try this. I'm going to try this. So this might stand out a little bit too much, but this is alizarin and blue. This with white, it's kind of a purple. And I'm thinking that this up top area here, just slightly dragging it over some of this red that's already in here. Finding out where it goes. Heavier. Find it more quite on the building than these areas underneath the windows exactly. So. Bring that in. See it a little bit of mostly at the top on this area here. That's just how I do it. Just build it up. Go through my colors. I think they'll be fine. Fill these areas up a little bit better. Trying to get rid of some of that white showing through right here. Okay. Now I'm going to go with, I'm not going to go blue. I'm going to go with this. It's a alizarin and phthalo green. Right in this area here, above the doorway. If I started right at the edge of that top of that doorway frame, and I drag it up, my brush up slightly. I should get a better release than that, but that's what I was going to do, is take it here. Almost see the some of that blue showing through here, that purple green. Keep going with that. Might be just a hair light. Darken it up a little bit. Yeah, just darkened it up a little bit. And the shadows here, just mixing in with that color. Everything I painted, I'm just painting again. You know, you could, you know, paint these in one time, one value, and be done. It might not make a difference. It might be, you know, this helps a lot. This is toning down that purple I put in here, and I can start getting some of the darks in here a little bit. Even though you see that purple in there, it's not that quite that strong. I probably shouldn't have probably just started with it, but it was in that place, so I just had to go with it. So little drawing areas I could see I kind of could have done better on. Like this window here is a little wide. This window's probably a little wide too. Should have been gray it out too. This is that purple gray. This is phthalo green and alizarin again. Get these guys straight, get my brush straight. I think I was gonna try and do is see if I could start to get the window in here. That color, just not enough color on my brush. Just trying to catch a tip and see if I could just drop it in like that. Here in my paint, my brush. This is the one I should have been changing it, but okay. Just puts in those beautiful little lines there. I just hate getting rid of it too soon. Okay. Again over here. Going back, purple grays, alizarin and phthalo green. Gonna build these guys up really quicker, a little quicker now. Get the dark to the right value. I'm just off. So I'm gonna go up to I'm gonna move over to phthalo green and Venetian. And come back over these purples, these cool purples here. One more time. And just see how I'm just gonna drag this brush right straight down, and just let things happen without doing too much more work. Let the paint come off now, which it's gonna start coming off really nice. And finally it's getting enough paint to let it dry a little bit. Let the brush go a little bit farther with the paint and just pull it. So I'm finding those little areas. This is again phthalo green and Venetian together. So it's just a little warmer gray, kind of almost, it's almost a dirty gray. Really gets that weathered look across. And it's going to work really well with the purples I have in there if you put it gently on here and not try to, wipe out your purples. Just rocking your brush, flipping your brush, and pulling these patchworks marks together. Just going through and just add a couple weathered strokes into these guys. I want to make sure the edge of the painting is just a little darker than the other side, especially on this guy right here. Stroke down. Same up here. Okay. This is, again, phthalo green and Venetian with just a little bit of white in it. Getting it all ready for the highlights, the brights. A little darker. I'm gonna probably go full strength, I think, here. It's a little too light. I want to get this little green too. Come back down far enough. I'm gonna go with this is some of that red green. We put cad red and phthalo green together, and I've added white to it, but now I'm not using any white. Now it's back to full strength on the CAD red side. And I'm just dragging it a little bit on these guys here. There's a lot of red, orange that's showing through here. And mixing with those greens and stuff that are already in here. Just to start getting some of that body of the building in here. Not too much over here as much. Yeah, I swear I've seen. I put green in there accidentally. And that's what told me it was red. When it looked wrong, you could see that it was really red. Okay. This stuff here, definitely we're just going to be adding just a little more light to it. I'm just going through my colors, getting my midtones down. This guy here definitely is not too bad. This street here, this needs to be toned down a little bit. This is, again, what I'm just using what was on my brush. This is a phthalo green and just a little CAD red in my brush, running it out through here, letting it, you know, kind of make the brick pattern. I'm not going to paint that pattern. All right. I want to get a couple really nice darks. Let's get this door in, and then we'll get the highlight in. Definitely want to start with the darkest green I had made. This is phthalo green and CAD red, but really on the green side. Just touching a little oil in my brush. I'm going to put it in pretty strong, full strength. And I get to the bottom of the door, I'm just going to thin it out, give it a little thinner coat, let it be a little thicker at the top. That's it. And then I'm going to come back. This is the CAD orange I mixed in with the phthalo green, so it's just a little bit lighter. I'm going to add just a little bit more CAD orange to my color because this so already in here. And just get the bottom of this door some light. I was just thinking about going around the edges of that glass with a nice line. Could be cleaner, could be a lot cleaner. Got a little bit more ochre into my color. I mean, not ochre, CAD yellow, CAD orange. One more, just to brighten it one more step. Nice, clean, on the brush, clean, really flat. That way I can, when I put it in here, it's gonna go nice. Get a little bit of light in that door. Then you go back and forth a little bit with the darks and the lights, and get a few areas here fixed up a little nicer. Gentle touch. Really dark on the corners, edges. I also could do this with my knife. That's usually what I save this kind of stuff for, is my knife. Right here at the bottom here, that door, right where it hits the stoop. Get that dark in there. I want a really solid, dark, warm dark. I'm putting burnt umber and phthalo green together for this, putting it in that spot. It's one of the darkest and nice warm. Might even rub it into this purple a little bit too. That helped a lot. Okay. Doors in. That's in. Doors are in almost. I didn't put these guys in. Okay. Those are, again, probably a mix of the warmer, or let me try warmer. Phthalo green and alizarin mix. And this side, this one's darker. This side's lighter, so I'm going to go a little cooler and brighter for this one. Yeah, right. That's right. It's just not bright enough. Ran out of that color because I was doing it somewhere else. It's pretty good. Could be just a hair wider. Take it all the way up. I'm not going to worry about the light. Going to have to get finishing touches on that. Should be lighter anyway. That should be darker. This should be lighter anyway. This will be doing just going through, getting these little areas. Hitting highlights on these things. Wanting another one lighter color. Sometimes you just see it a little cooler at a place. One little area up there. That's all you need. Shoot. That was close. Thought I had something. Thought that was going to be brighter. Might have to brighten these guys all up one more step too. Anyway, that's pretty much it. That's pretty good. I'll probably just need to this area here, this rock needs to be lightened. One step on this, going around this guy a little bit. Sometimes this is why I like using a brush that's just a hair too big for the job, because it's going to make me create better strokes. It's just graying out the color just enough. This is basically that purple I had on here. I put on, or greenish color I had here. These areas need to be lightened up, but instead of just using white or something like that, maybe I'll try. I'm just trying to see if I use a green or purple to lighten these things up. I mean, I did all my colors with a lot of white already. And just trying not to do, we got a lot of white to use in here yet. Just trying to see if this would help in certain areas. Should be really good for down in here, I think. Anyway, no more getting around it. I have not put in any of the flower things. Those guys going to be changing a nice big change of brush, but I want to get some of the guts and stuff in here. So let's get this light in here. This is probably the most important thing now in the whole thing, is getting those guys, and those guys are going to be put in with my really high key colors, my ones I made up, and I haven't used them anywhere else yet in the painting. So, but I want to make sure when I do use them, I get them in the right spots first, then I'll talk, then we'll talk. So you look at this section here and you squint and you say, okay, this area up here is probably your brightest. And then it's basically coming down. There's a few spots here just because of the contrast, they become bright. So this color I'm going to be using is basically that phthalo green with cad red mix with a lot of white. And it has a little oak yellow in it, a little oak yellow in it. So that is what I'm going to be putting in first. And I'm just going to put it in, you know, really load my brush up, get the hairs off my brush. Look at 4 more hairs come out of that thing. Grab my paint. And I'm just going to basically do a straight line, pull it down. But I got to take care of this edge here. I want to be able to put it in once. So I'm thinking about how I'm going to pull it down. I got to pull it straight down to get this line flat. And then I got to basically, I'm just going to put it in here and pull it straight down. Let me see how that goes. It looks a little bright. Let's tone it down 1 step. That's better. Okay, I didn't have to go quite that bright. Okay, let's go a little darker. Let's follow those guys over and just going to do the same thing. This line has to finish up here. Okay, I'll just keep that coming. Bottom line, if I go like this, I can see where it is and I can create that line better. Okay, these noogies, love these noogies on the side. Okay, they have to be put in a step darker than I'm putting there, because if I put them in with that same light, they are going to just jump like in that feel right. So I'm going down, basically changing the color, going to a different color. Here, this is that basically what I'll be using a lot going down further, but this is ochre mixed in with that that purple color. So I'm just gonna follow that line. Think of that shadow as a, you know, a bar, and you know, just put it in like that. Same up here. So it's not too perfect, you know. Give it a little nudge. This one got a little bit. There you go. Here's another one. Little shaft of light that comes in from here. Just touch that just to soften it, just a hair. Okay. Now it comes down, comes down to this corner here. Now this window blocks off everything coming down from that same line. Mine's going to be a little wider. I gotta, yeah. My light just, my angle's off. Here I'm changing the value too. I'm going to a little bit darker value than here. Might have to add some things here. I'll put in the, come back in and put in the some of those shadows on the rocks and stuff. Okay. Just need to get a little warmer here for this underneath this stone here. Went back to the this is cad red, phthalo green coming down all the way down with white, and then I add cad yellow to it, and then I add white, but it was put it in there, it was just a hair too bright. But now if I darken it back in with the cad yellow and stuff, mixing in, you know, I get this. I can get those colors pretty close. Probably just too much white yet in certain areas like that. And this is what I love to do, is get these transfer of shapes going through the shadows and having a light change. This needs to come a little wider, so I'm going to widen it out. Probably just slightly missed the angle in this. This thing probably should have been a little tighter up there. So open it up a little bit. Back in here, especially down darker than this one. Okay. Let's just, get close, getting close. Probably went, you know, that's the thing, little adjustments. These areas can be, you know, just a little bit darker right in here. Getting this light line shoot through here. The shape's good. And then it's just putting in shadows here of things going through here. This is going to be warm. It's cad red and phthalo green with white. Basically that mix for this, for these little shadow areas. Doodads. Just to break, that's what I'm going to be using. Probably a little bit cooler up there though. Use that for there. I think it's on the gray side a little bit. Going through here. Yeah, something like that. I can always go back in and then do the final little darkenings of in here underneath these guys. This is what I'll use. I'll be using is this was phthalo green and Venetian mixed together, and it's a really good mix of gray. Basically makes a nice gray, and that'll be like what I'll use going into this last part of the building here, doing these shadows and stuff. Okay. This stuff down here, there's a few places that need to be lightened up, and then I'll have to lighten everything up. Let me see, this color might be, I might have taken these colors down just a hair too far. That should be the highlight. That should not, that's almost too dark. This is phthalo green and cad red mix with white. That's what I used up here, but this is going to be a little bit, adding just a little, this is adding a little bit more white to it. That was too much. So I am taking it back one step. Yeah, I did not put the pots in, but that's going to be relatively easy. You know, so now you know that sidewalks here is very warm. So this color here is just has more white in it. So it's just putting that on the very edge should work out pretty well. And pulling it back in. Wow, it's time already. All right, well, that's what we'll be doing there. One of my last little things I'd like to show before we look at everybody's, I'm going to go with my knife and I'll do a few things for you. This is the ochre kind of color I put in for these guys up here. That's what I was going to use right here on this guy. Just draw it in. Run across. So that's that area there. Then you have this French chair here. Stuff, a lot of stuff. I have to finish up a few things here. Like before I do it, I want to get this green in here. So this is where that green goes, right in here. This is the green, yellow, that's regular green, and then the yellow green goes just on the outsides. And just a little bit into the thing. I'm going to keep this as dark as possible. And then just hit a few things here. And then it'll be all a lot of knife work there at the end. You can start to see how this, then when you put that in, all of a sudden this glow starts to work. It didn't really work that great before. And you can start to see where the trees, those little trees are going to go, that little guy there. I love that. That's a really nice stroke. And that was just a straight across thing, you know. I was thinking, little light things like that when I do these areas here. Being able to do it with a knife like that, the 2 strokes instead of 5 strokes thing. And straighten up those things up there like that. That's going to be the beautiful things to do. Also, just dropping in the darks with your knife, straightening out things. Edges like this, the nice dark will do nice. Catching those little things. So I'll bring you in. It's still got a lot of work to do. I will finish it up. But the light's getting there. That's why I wanted to really focus on today for you guys, the brightness and how the subtleties can work in these areas. They need to be brushed out just one more time. But it's really, tell you the truth, it's really pretty much there. So that's what it's looking like in there. Basically, I do need to get in front of it. It looks very cockeyed. But sometimes the charm of these things is the cockeyedness. So, all right. Let's see if anybody, you're going to have to turn your lights on and everything. And we will get going here. Yep. Come on, stay. All right, let's see. Allison showed up. Hi, Allison. And did you paint? No, Jeannie painted. Allison, let's see what Allison does. Hey, Allison. Oh,
Beautiful.
that's what she,
That's
that does not
gorgeous.
look like anything. That doesn't look like anything we painted
I know,
today.
I was too late. I came in mid-nick, so then I thought, well, I'll paint with you guys, but I at least use the time to work on this.
That's gorgeous.
And thank you.
Wow.
I've just got to do what you said.
Allison,
down
that
here
is it.
now.
Mhm.
Oh man, that is beautiful.
Mm,
That
Thank
is
really nice.
wow. I can see that. Yeah, I'm not sure what. Yeah, that's off the island. Good. Where the heck you gotta post that? No, I don't.
I will,
You
I
need to
will.
post more. We all need to see your stuff more often.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll do this. Hopefully do this tomorrow and then I'll post.
Okay. It's beautiful. I don't see any real
Mhm.
big problem. I wouldn't say go any brighter anywhere. You're pretty much there, right?
Well, what
What are you
about
thinking about changing?
this light bothers me. I need to do something with the light.
How bright it is up there?
Well, I think I'm not sure it's the
It-
right tone. The warm and I tried to do what you said, but I don't know that the paint behaves.
Did you put a little bit of coolness right in the middle of that yellow? Take a little bit of the cloud or whitish
okay,
color.
yeah,
Put a
yeah.
dab of it, just a little teeny spot in the middle, and that's all it will take. Then
Yeah,
everything will
use
behave. It might.
Yellow, ochre, and white. So probably I need to put a little bit of cad lemon or something to make it more cool.
I would just use a blue gray,
Okay.
blue gray white,
Okay.
and try just a little dot, just a little spot in the very middle of that, and that will be the light. You'll be surprised how much that jumps.
Okay.
That'll work.
Thank you. Thank you.
That'll make the yellow pop.
Okay.
Great job, though. Really nice to
Thank
see
you.
that. Okay, let's go to Anne Marie. Anne Marie, did you paint? Look at her. Oh, she did paint. She has her gear on. Her hands are dirty.
I did. I did paint.
Oh no.
As we know, you cannot draw a straight line. So this is my.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, that's very
you did
nice.
too.
So clean.
Wow.
Your straight lines are perfect. Those, we're talking impressionistic anyway.
Thank
So
God.
we don't have to. Yeah. Those guys were so drunk they couldn't draw a straight line anyway. So that's the whole thing. Really, man, that's come along really nice already.
Mhm.
I don't mind your straight not being straight and things at all. I think those are really good, pretty straight. Good the way you're handling the light shaft is really great. And you kept up. I can't believe how fast you kept up. That's beautiful.
I can't either.
Yeah, you got adjustments to make,
Yeah.
and things like that. But I think when you need help, let me know, because I don't see too many things. Values might be, but it might be too light here and there on the green doors and the sides and things like that. But that's, maybe the camera too. So
Yeah.
that's all I'm just saying. Those two, push those guys back, and we'll be able to concentrate on the big door in the front area, and dressing that up with the pots and stuff will really make it look great. That's a great start, though. I love it.
I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah. You remember walking by that place?
I do. I just that the colors and the light there are just amazing.
It was totally different. We get it nice and gray here. We love it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm fogged in on the lake today. It's fogged in, so.
Oh man.
But
yeah,
I'll keep going.
All right. Okay, yeah, definitely keep going since you're fogged in. Let's go with Jeannie. I know Jeannie painted. Let's see what she did. There you go,
did,
Jeannie.
but really, I just have not even finished blocking everything in.
Wow.
Wait, let me see.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
Wow.
God, that's a fun mess. Oh,
I know,
fun.
that's exactly what it is, a mess, but I'm enjoying the colors, so we'll see.
Oh no. I mean, that is gorgeous. There's going to be when you start to get I think the warmth of the building, a little bit more of that in you got a lot of purples and stuff like that. I think you need to get just the right value in that building to blend into some of those purples and stuff. It's going to be gorgeous. Wow. I mean, what's going on there is just what I pictured this being a fun and exciting like this. Because when you put that light in like a little bit stronger and brighter, it's going to be great. What a great green door. Your green door just works so well.
I used the green you told me to mix, and it does work. What color did you use in the light shaft coming down? Because I don't know if I have mixed that properly. I don't know.
It turned out to be cad red and phthalo green, kind of like what we used in the door, but it was on the cad red side because I mixed it up a little heavy. But then that with white, that's the color for the doors. I mean, that really helps getting the building color. But they've taken that to like a number, I would say 3, because I was going with 2 and it was just a little bright. So right around 2.5 would be great value wise. I was using that with just a touch of cad yellow into it.
Okay.
And that really worked out pretty damn well. I was really happy with
Okay.
that. But this is Jeannie, just your brush work. That's what the thing is. This is coming along really, really great. Just don't lose your brush work. You just did all that great stuff in there. Don't wipe it all off. That's
I'm
gorgeous.
really working on that
Really?
because the lighthouse, I went back after class and I got rid of all my darks. So I have to go back and put them back in. So I'm really focusing on just blocking in the main color. And I did do a palette knife here, which I like. So, but it's a little too
Good
early for me to
job.
be doing a lot of palette knife. Thank you.
Yeah, I usually, when I put palette knife in there, it usually just gets caught and mushes up in
Yeah.
the other colors. So it's always a nice end little thing for me.
Yeah.
That's
do it
beautiful
and
though,
relax.
Jeannie. I really love it.
Thank you.
See, you should have been with France with us. You should have been.
Oh, I
Okay.
should have. I absolutely should have.
Mary Kay, you're painted. I know you just got to turn on your mic. You were there early. How you doing, Mary Kay?
Oh,
Oh,
Really? Wow.
yeah,
You listened. She listened really good, didn't she?
she did.
Okay. She really did.
Now what
I
color did you
she
put
kept up with us.
right here? I don't think this is light enough right in here.
Yeah,
Is it?
it's not light enough yet.
Okay.
I was just putting that in at the end. That was going to be all these lights and stuff at the bottom here. That was going to again be a lot of that ochre, yellowish white I used up here.
Okay.
Going to come down in here, but it was just going to be like a gentle brush. It wasn't going to be like a full strength. It was going to have a little mix with the foreground. So you're really close to being right there value wise isn't bad at all. I think yours is, looking at the real picture, and you're about right. I think it's just shadows. I think you just got to. I think that color's about right. I think you're what you need to do is get the shadows on the building, behind the building and stuff, a little darker.
Okay.
Just those little things, and then put the pots and stuff in. The pots and stuff I wanted to put in at the very end because I want to make sure I got everything behind it done right, because those little things are could mess up everything. Okay, your shaft of light going across there is really good. Don't forget there's one little dab of light at the very top that kind of connects that shaft too. You just little tiny miss. And if you want on that shaft, you might widen it just a little bit more too, because you could go a little bit wider, because that's the beautiful thing right there. I think you'd probably go you did great job though. I mean, value wise, you're pretty close, really close. It's just, going back into the building a little bit more and muddying it up. But the values and that light, I think the light shaft definitely make that just a hair bigger, wider.
Okay.
And I think that's gorgeous, really gorgeous.
Great.
Nice job. Good.
Thanks.
Yeah. The things you can do in an hour, right?
Right.
Okay. I got Carrie here. I don't know if Carrie painted. I don't think she did. She was saying she was going to work.
I did.
No, see, she's working on homework.
Okay.
Okay.
About the wet dog painting
I know
video.
you were. I know you.
I'm
Just
still
checking
working
on
on
you.
that about a wet palette. I do have a question. So
Okay.
in your warm light, does it cast a cool shadow? And
It
does cool
should,
light
right?
cast warm? Is it just the opposite of
Warm,
cool
yeah,
light
warm light.
casting a warm shadow?
Yeah, warm light will do a cool shadow.
Okay.
So, but it does cast it, but it depends on what it's going over. If it's going over a warm thing, you can't. The shadow just going to make a little difference to it, but it won't be able to do it. Like you can see it in snow, but you can't, like when you're going over dark bricks and stuff like that. Yeah, you can see a little bit more blue gray and stuff in these guys. These guys are because it's so concentrated, the shadows are concentrated, you can't really see and it's going over red bricks. Reddish
Right.
bricks, so you can't those guys things. Same with the building and stuff. You can see that it is a kind of a cool cast to it. But it's
Okay.
definitely a reddish, taupe type building. So that's why it's not like jumping out. That's why I was putting in those cooler purples and stuff and purple grays.
Mhm.
That's what was going to help value wise. And then really, when you hit those highlights and stuff, just those things, the whole thing just comes together. Yay! Okay,
Yay,
I'll leave
thank
you alone. Yeah, no, you're welcome. I love your paintings. Your duck painting
Oh,
was
thank
so
you.
good.
That was just
I was so happy to
Look
see that done well. Yeah.
Thank-
Okay. Well, I think did I miss anybody? Got Monica down there. Monica, did you paint yet? She's not even here. She went back to bed. She turns these things on and goes back to bed. She's out there on the West Coast.
I didn't paint. I'm sorry.
She did. I knew I'd get a rise out of her if I said anything. That's okay. Monica, you'll catch up. You'll catch up someday.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. To everybody, gosh, man, thanks for joining in. And it's really great to see you guys being able to, get this far so quickly on a painting like this. Definitely little
Thanks, Jim.
things I'm going to be going through, and I will try to, capture those on the recording, as you can see, and I'll just a lot of knife work. I think it's going to be at the end. So that's about it, though. So you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thanks for joining.
Thanks, Jim.
Ciao.
Thank you. Lovely to see you guys. Have a good weekend.
Yes.
See everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.